Welcome to the heart and soul of Outdoors Radio. It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. In our 11th season, we continue to share facts and give advice on the great outdoors, where we never let the lack of facts come between us and a good story. Guys who are dedicated to helping you become a better outdoorsman. Your host, Gary McCoy, who's no stranger to the radio world or the outdoors, with a CMA to his credit for best personality. A well-accomplished outdoorsman who loves the thrill of taking a big buck or putting a bass in the live well. Mike Eccles, born and raised in Louisiana, who's fished and hunted his entire life and continues to chase ducks in the backwaters and pull bass off cypress trees. And the Boss Tournament Trail Director who runs the best team circuit in Louisiana. Steve Graff, raised in the woods and waterways of East Texas, a former Northwestern State two-sport athlete and tournament angler who continues to strive for big bass and winning stringers. And last but not least, Jay Watley, the brains and producer of the show who pushes all the right buttons. A man with unmatched talent who excels in making these guys look good and this show sound great. Now let's jump off the front deck and make the first cast with the boys who know it all, Gary, Steve, Mike, and Jay.
Got his little Primo Targets hat on in there.
Oh, you're going to start off with me today.
I just
like
see
it.
that this is, this
looks
is the
good,
trend.
don't it?
Yeah, it does look good on you.
Better than that other little hat I was wearing. This one's way better.
Little Jaybird
hooking up, tracking down hat.
Yeah, that's a little Jaybird. You know what? I've never seen him wear a hooking up, tracking down hat.
Your hat?
Wearing a Primo Targets hat, but he wouldn't even promote the show.
No. We can go back. We have archives here.
Okay.
All right. I've worn a hooking up and tracking down show hat many times.
Okay.
All right. We are.
Hey, by the way,
It's a
today,
fedora. It's camouflage.
I've got some shirts coming your way.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, I got them coming.
Oh,
We're
where?
going to take care of you.
They're our shirts, but they're coming your way.
Yeah. We just
okay,
need you to wash them. The
Yeah,
laundromat's right down the
I
road.
ignored these two guys. I'll take care of you, Jay.
Totally fine.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 The Tiger. This part of the show brought to you by Bayou Outdoor Super Center, Steve Nichols, and Specialty Traco, Despino and Jim South Tire, and Primo Targets. Craftsmanship, quality, and passion are a part or what makes, or that says or. It should say of. A part of what makes Primo Targets the best on the market today. Go to Primo, and you got to spell it like a coon-ass, okay? Primeaux. Primo Targets. Can you make the look at that. He made an R into an F, Mike. I mean, right there.
I'm a man of
because
many
we use this every week.
Many talents.
Go to primotargets.com to learn.
Either that or you just learn to type.
Yeah,
Sorry
there you go.
Sorry for the typo, Gary.
Speaking of Primo Targets, we've got Russ and Chris in the studio with us. We're going to visit with them here at 11:15 and give you an idea as to why, if you're not shooting Primo Targets, why you need to be shooting Primo Targets. It's that time of the year. I mean, it's time to get the rifle sighted in.
Right.
Youth season is this coming weekend. Oh, and speaking of that, I got to mention really quickly about Bellevue Meat Processing. Something that's going on. Carla sent this to us last night.
I hope what's coming on is she's cooking for us for next week.
Yeah.
I hope that's what's going on.
Carla says that Bellevue Meat Processing will start being open 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week beginning this Saturday. And this weekend, every youth hunter that brings in a deer for processing at Bellevue will receive the Youth Hunt Bellevue shirt. My boys have got a couple of those, and I'm going to tell you, that's a big thing they do. You just when the kids shoot a deer, they go up there, they get a free shirt.
And that's cool.
Oh, I love that.
That's a great way.
Hey, this week's Facebook sponsor spotlight is Primo Targets. You want to spell it for us one more time? Do the coon-ass spelling.
Primeaux.
Primo.
Primo.
Targets.
Primo Targets.
If you spell it any other way, you're spelling it wrong.
Boudreaux shoots Primo.
See?
What'd you say, Mike?
Boudreaux
And
shoots
Thibodeau.
Primo.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, they shoot
Bennett
Primo.
Thibodeau.
Let's see. This week, is this going to get ugly?
I think it's gotten ugly.
I mean, but are we
ugly.
going to get any on us?
Long as there's cameras filming the three of us, the show's ugly. Yes.
I'm just thinking that this could get ugly. Who's jumping ship from BASS and FLW to head to Boyd Duckett's new Major League Fishing Tour in 2019? Now, of course, we talked to Boyd last week, and one of the things that we let you know, Kevin Van Dam is on that list. Yep. No longer associated with BASS. Is that going to be weird or what? Greg Hackney, gone.
Yeah.
Is that going to be weird? All of a sudden, you know, those heroes that you rooted on at the Elite Series weigh-ins and at the Classic and things of that nature, Justin Lucas just won Angler of the Year. We got him on the show.
Yep.
Guess where he's headed?
Well, you know, they always tried to figure out why FLW's Classic, which is as big, as good, as well put on as the Bassmaster Classic.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of event and money, it is equal to the Bassmaster Classic, but it doesn't get the coverage. And they all related it back to the fact for the 5 or 6 years that CNN owned BASS.
ESPN.
ESPN owned BASS.
Right.
A little sports era there.
No, that's not a little error.
You know, potatoes. Anyway, during that period of time, the coverage for BASS and the Classic and the individuals there was so great that some of those guys became a household name.
Sure.
To people that didn't hunt or fish.
Right.
And that,
You had Denny Brower on the box of Wheaties.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only reason FLW was never able to achieve the status of BASS was because that 5 or 6 years of national exposure. That's
And the fact that it was first.
Well, and that's always got to have a lot to do with
You
it.
can be no firster.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody can out first you.
That's right.
Now that you're losing those name people, those household heroes to MLF, a lot of them, that could take BASS, I'm not saying it is, but it could take BASS down a notch to where FLW, they'll be equal on who wants to watch it now.
You know what though? The one thing that I think a lot of people discount was, and this was post ESPN days with BASS. FLW is the one who brought us play-by-play, on the deck with the angler coverage of their event while it's happening in real time.
Live, yeah.
FLW did that. Not BASS responded by doing it, but only when FLW said. And so it makes me wonder, with Boyd Duckett understanding, and you know what, God love him. I think Boyd Duckett was born, with a great idea in his pocket.
Right.
Because everything he touches I've got the Midas touch too. Everything I touch turns into a muffler.
Yeah.
But he's certainly got it, and it makes me wonder what he's going to do to make this, the site for Saturday television. Because he hadn't rolled all of it out yet.
Well, one thing I heard last night watching Iaconelli's radio show, he actually has an internet show, and I watched it last night. He talked about, can MLF be what BASS and FLW have meant and has been for so many anglers with magazine, direct connection to the public, because that's what they're going to be missing. Even Mike said, I'm not for sure if MLF will be able to accomplish what BASS and FLW have accomplished.
I don't know that the magazine is that big of a deal anymore.
I don't either.
Honestly, I've got mine. I'm a lifetime member of BASS, and every month I get the regular magazine, and I get the what's the other one called?
Bass Times.
Bass Times.
Yeah.
I get both of those, and they're really good reading in my reading room. And outside of that, anything I need to know, boom, I'm online to find out.
The other thing is, how many people that they have reached out to, and because of their tournaments, BASS has reached so many people publicly that MLF will not be able to do. Because their weigh-ins are not going to be the same.
But the thing about it is I don't think that MLF wants to be what BASS or FLW were. Right. They want to set a new standard.
They want to go to a higher level.
Right.
You're right.
And I believe that's going.
But I think you got to have more than one media outlet to do that.
They've got the two most important.
Yeah.
They will have a web presence,
Right.
and they will have television.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
At four times what BASS is.
Certainly.
Times.
And you know what?
Air coverage.
When we talked to
Yeah,
Boyd,
TV time, you're
when
right.
we talked to Boyd, it was not out of the question that MLF might even be in some ways associated with the three of us in radio and things of that nature.
Yeah.
You see where I'm at? He's not scared to do what it would take to jump this above BASS and FLW in a short time.
Well, and we all sitting here in this room know that we would rather watch Kevin Van Dam than some no-name on TV.
Exactly. Right.
There's the connection right
Sure,
there.
sure.
You know, I'd rather listen to Gerald Swindle for 5 minutes.
Well, and you said something about they have the ability to draw the crowds at the weigh-in. A crowd at a weigh-in is just a plus. It's not necessary.
Right.
It's not necessary, but it's kind of like NASCAR.
500 people show up and watch a weigh-in, or 50,000 or 5 million tune in to watch it on TV or on computer.
If there's one thing I felt NASCAR did a tremendous job of, it was that direct connection where you could go sit and talk with a driver or go in the pits and get Jeff Gordon's autograph or Dale Earnhardt's autograph right there in their pit stall. That's that connection towards at a tournament on MLF. There's no connection there.
No. See, those relationships were already built. They will continue. I'm sure that MLF will continue to have a show that surrounds the weigh-in, and that show is going to come to town, and there's going to be appearances from Kevin Van Dam and Gerald Swindle and those guys, because those guys have other sponsors and commitments that they've got to live up to, and so people are going to still come out, because I don't believe that anybody fell in love with BASS. They fell in love with Rick Clunn. They fell in love with Denny Brower. They fell in love with Kevin Van Dam.
No doubt. No doubt.
You know, and because I tell people all the time, nobody has a favorite television station.
Yeah.
Everybody has a favorite TV show.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you boil it down, this show, if Boyd Duckett does it the right way.
It's not the network, it's the actors, and they've got the actors.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I mean, honestly, you think about this. Have you missed a regular edition of Major League Fishing in the last year?
No, I record them all.
Right.
Exactly.
And you watch every one of them.
Yeah.
And every time it's the same format.
Yeah.
But
I
you love
record
seeing
all of them.
But you love seeing how those guys dissect the lake, how they put it together, and bam, bam, bam.
Here's your map. Go fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you love that
concept. I ain't no doubt. That's the best concept that's happened to bass fishing in a long, long time.
Now, granted, you know, I don't believe that this tournament will be held the same way, but still, you know, there's going to be twists.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And I think they're very creative.
Well, I want a job. I want to sign on as a marshal.
Yeah.
Shoot, yeah. Yeah. Okay, maybe they'll come to the Red River. If they do.
No, I want to travel.
Okay.
I want to do all of them. I want to check, Boyd.
If they do come to Red River, are they going to find some new bass in Red River? Is that what we're hearing?
That's what the tentative schedule is right now for stocking, and I'll go over this with you real quick. They got, of course, 5 pools on the Red River. They've announced how many pure Floridas they're putting in and tiger bass.
Oh, they're putting tiger bass in Red River.
Yep. Pool 1 will get 7,200 pure Florida strain bass, 3,600 tiger bass.
Yeah.
Pool 2 is going to get 7,200 pure Florida strain bass, and again 3,600 tiger bass. Pool 3, which is the Natchitoches pool, is going to get 14,400 pure Florida strain bass, 3,600 tiger bass. Pool 4, Coshada pool, will get 18,000 pure Florida strain bass and 4,500 tiger bass. In Pool 5, the Shreveport pool, will get 25,200 pure Florida strain bass and 6,300 tiger bass.
In 5 years, our anglers will have 75% of those fish up here in Pool 5.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, they say that with a tiger bass, that literally they are so aggressive, you could catch all of them out of a body of water.
No, I don't
it's
doubt
one of the
that.
few species of fish that you could catch them all. So, you know, when you start considering your fishing trips on the Red River, you know, if things were to improve a little bit as far as, you know, conditions and stuff like that, as you catch those, you just remember that, you know, you might have a potential world record there, you know, if you let it grow up.
Real quick, I want to do this. Every once in a while, we promote products we're not associated with, right? Just bring it up. A couple of years ago, I bought 5 Wegos. Y'all each got one for Christmas. You've used them. You like them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love mine.
I gave 2 to my son-in-law. I kept 1. Mine never worked. Never once worked. Last year, I sent it back to the company. They sent me back a new set of cables for it, said there's nothing wrong with it. I've tried it 2 times since I've had it back. Still didn't work. I wrote them a message, and the girl said, "We do not like that you've had problems with your stuff. We are mailing you the brand new edition of Wego with all the upgrades, because we stand behind our product." And I got it yesterday in the mail. I just wanted to mention. I told them I was going to mention that on the show.
Still don't work.
No, it works. No, I found out I wasn't turning it on.
All right, sit tight. We're going to talk targets here in a minute. Do we get to shoot?
Yeah,
we get to shoot.
Well, it depends on what you're shooting.
In-house shooting?
Yeah.
Do you have a target?
Here,
A target
Jay,
that looks
Jay,
like
hold
Jay.
this. Jay, hold this.
Oh man, we got 2 minutes. That's a long time. I can make it pretty far in 2 minutes.
We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
This segment of Hooking Up and Tracking Down is presented by Daiwa Rods and Reels, V&M Baits, Silver Star Smokehouse, and Paul's Farm and Garden, and also J&J Exterminating. To make sure your hunting camp is bug-free this season, call J&J Exterminating.
And if you're just tuning in, we mentioned this a little while ago. Bellevue Meat Processing, effective this Saturday, they are going to their can-to-caint deer season hours.
24/7.
And thanks again to Carla Nesbitt for reminding us about that. She and Chris, I mean, it's just an unbelievable operation they have. Starting this Saturday, open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. till 9 p.m., now taking deer and wild game for processing. And, of course, this weekend is Youth Weekend, or Youth Week, because it goes for a full
you're right. It's a
goes
week.
for a full week. So effective this Saturday. If you're a youth, 16 years of – no, it's under the age of 16. Once they hit 16, they're out.
Yeah.
But under the age of 16, if they harvest a deer, just bring it by Bellevue, and Bellevue will give them a Bellevue Meat Processing youth T-shirt there. Great selection of sausage, seasonings, mayhaw, jelly, and barbecue sauces. Prepackaged mixes like gumbo and red beans and rice and jambalaya. They offer great snack sticks, perfect for the duck blind or the deer stand. And the cool part about those, they're soft. So a little kid's not sitting there, you know, like the first time I took Craig, I was the idiot. I took Cheetos and one of the in the bag that it came. We were as quiet as a brush fire. And so I'm going to tell you, you know, after that point, you know, we learned the value of the snack sticks from Bellevue because they're soft and they're in a Ziploc bag. They offer incredible stuff like that for the duck blind or the deer stand. Bellevue, the official processor of Hunters for the Hungry. Go to BellevueMeat.com to learn more. We got guests in the studio today. Did y'all bring us a target to look at?
We did, but they're in the trailer.
They're in the trailer.
So we got to go outside?
No, we could bring them in here.
Okay.
Because we're on the radio now.
Yeah.
It's time.
We want people to look at the radio
Which
in their
one?
car
Chris,
and see.
Now, Chris, because Russ is the brains of the outfit, but you're like the promotion guru of the thing. Which one of y'all is going to run to the trailer?
You got your keys. I'll run out there real quick.
Yeah, it's unlocked.
Okay. All right, we're going to.
Well, then I'll go get all I want myself.
Primo Targets,
Better like
Primeaux. Russ, you found yourself out of work.
I did. Yeah. I was an aircraft mechanic for 17 years.
Yeah, if you will pull that up. There we go.
There you go.
And they decided to shut down our base here in Shreveport, and I was doing targets on the side, making a little extra money, and decided to see if I could pursue it full time. And since they let us go a year ago, August, and it's been a fun ride.
Okay, so tell me, with Primo targets, are these targets just for light caliber rifles, or have you got a target that will withstand somebody's deer rifle?
Correct. We have them from 22 caliber all the way to 50 BMG. So any rifle, pistol caliber, we have a target for that.
You got the whirly bird things. You got the little twisties.
We do. We have dueling trees, plate racks, gong stands, hostage style targets.
Have you got one big enough that Graf could hit it?
We can make it big enough.
Okay.
I ain't that bad a shot. I'm a pretty good shot. I may not be a good angler, but I can shoot.
We can make them any size, and we'd also take custom orders. If you have an idea, we'll try and put it together.
We need to hook it up and tracking down target.
Yeah. Dude, there's a lot of people want to shoot Eccles.
That'd be your best.
Just have Eccles' face right
Oh,
there in the
heck
middle.
yeah. That's an awesome
You
idea.
see what I'm saying?
The jealous husband target.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you think the metal targets, most people think I'm a hunter. I'm going to go out and sight my rifle in. I get a piece of paper. I take a magic marker. I draw a black dot in the middle of it. Who needs a metal target? Who all needs a metal target?
Once you have your rifle sighted in, or your pistols, the metal targets are great to keep your skills together. And it's for training, it's for self-defense. A lot of kids, the little shooting sports. We have the I can't think of the.
You talking about the school shooting?
Yeah,
The
4-H.
FFA.
Oh, yeah,
FFA.
4-H, yeah.
4-H, yeah.
They shoot
So
silhouettes.
you're saying that your metal target wouldn't be one I would want to use if I were going to sight my rifle in?
No, we have paper targets for sighting rifles.
Okay, now Primo does have paper targets as well. Okay.
Yeah, we make
That's
paper
what's-
target stands.
But once it's sighted in, for that immediate gratification to know I hit what I was aiming at, there's nothing like that. Dong!
That's right.
Yeah, that. So if you're what I thought was a plunker, now it's a plinker. I was corrected last
Yeah.
week. It's a plinker.
You're
So-
corrected.
And you
every
shoot
week.
you
sure, I'm
shoot a
correct.
Glock, not a G-Lock, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, that's a new brand.
Okay,
I have my own brand.
swing that kind of off to the side a little
Yeah.
bit, just right in front of the camera.
There we go.
And
Now,
I want the
Russ-
camera to be able to see me.
Obviously that's what's the longevity of something like this?
If you treat it with the right calibers, it'll last you. It could last
Yeah.
tens of thousands of rounds.
Now,
Exactly.
Yeah.
what we're looking at here from Primo targets, what is that? Quarter-inch thick,
That's a
half-inch?
3/8 inch AR 500 plate, 12-inch circle with the stand.
I can shoot that with anything?
It's rifle rated up to 3,000 feet a second at 100 yards,
Okay.
and all pistol calibers at 10 yards.
3,000 feet a second. So pretty much most of the calibers I know of are not going to exceed
Right.
that.
You wouldn't want to do 300 Win Mag or 338 Lapua, but you could do it at 400.
Well, if you reduced the grains, the powder load on that, you could, as long as you're going. What do they call that? Subsonic.
Yeah. Anything subsonic. Yeah.
Okay. With that like that, is there anything that I would have to do to keep that maintained? Can I leave it out in the weather?
Leave it out. And the only reason you would paint it is just so you can see where you're impacting the next time. You don't even have to keep them painted if you don't want to.
Okay.
They just stay out. And you just leave them up. That's the thing about steel targets is you can set up a shooting gallery or something and just leave it there and just show up with your gun and shoot the targets.
Do you need some kind of anchoring device for the base of the target?
Not these ones. No.
No, they
no.
stay
There
held
are
up.
some that you would anchor down, but all the steel target stands are made so that they don't fall over. You could rapid fire on them, and they just keep going.
Okay, Chris Kennedy, you played fetch for us really well.
I had to catch my breath there.
I know that. I was trying to give you a second. Okay, now you bring to the Primo team some great relationships locally. You know a lot of the outdoors people. You were smart enough to contact us. I mean, that was the first really good move they made.
Yeah. I was on Toledo Bend when he called.
See,
he was.
But Chris, one of the things that occurs to me is you guys have got to be available, in outlets. Have you already established a lot of points of purchase?
We're in the midst of trying.
I'm going to get you to get real close to that.
Gotcha. We're in the midst of trying to do that. You know, like I said, we've teamed up within the last 6 months. I've known Russ for a long time. As you can tell, he knows what he's talking about.
Sure he does.
Admired why he started the company. Spends a lot of time away from his family. So I said, hey, let's team up. Let's do this together, And so he knows a lot of people. I'm a Shreveport boy. I know, like you said, I know have some contacts. So we're in the midst, gun shops. Russ likes to do the gun shows on the weekend. But, we'd like to outfit anybody that's interested.
Right.
Your weekend hunter at the deer lease.
Yeah.
Your competitive shooters. Your law enforcement agencies. Anybody like that. If they're interested, give us a call. We would love to supply and outfit them.
Okay.
What a great Christmas idea for your hunter, your
dude.
family. That's a great gift.
You know what?
And we're
Especially
also going to be doing some gift cards. Those will be coming up available for those that want to try and buy something for somebody. Just
cool.
look us up on the website.
I was 14 years old, and Mama gave me a .22 rifle that year for Christmas. And I wish that I'd have had something like this.
Yeah, instead of a can.
Yeah, dude.
I shot a mini aluminum can.
Golly.
Yeah.
But you know what? You think about something like that, and you do get that gratification of knowing you hit what you were aiming at. But there's a little bit more than gratification when it comes to that. It's positive reinforcement that,
Correct.
Very much true.
I've ultimately handled this weapon the way that it should. It struck what I was aiming at.
Yep.
It followed all of my commands. And, that's the discipline, with a firearm. And I'm going to tell you, the day's going to come when, it's sad to say, we're going to be part of a dying breed if we're not already.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're the minority.
Gun owners.
You're right.
That's very true.
Shooting enthusiasts.
Very true.
And you know what? If we don't train heavily another generation, I don't know what could become of shooting sports.
Well, that's one reason, I think he and I both enjoy this. He has a son. I have a 16-month-old son. This is something.
Does your 16-month-old do much shooting yet?
Give him about a month or so. I'm trying to get him to run that 4.240 first.
There you go.
But we want to have something to leave down to our kids and their kids. And this is something, first time I shot at steel was about 3 years ago, and you hear that ping. It beats walking the 300 yards first to see exactly where you hit, but it's like you said, instant gratification.
Are there plans in the future, like with 4-H sports being such a popular thing with the clay shoots?
Correct.
Any possibility of opening up or starting clay pigeon type things, or
We're not at.
are you strictly sticking with steel right now on paper?
Right now, it's steel and paper, but we're not out of trying other things.
What about shotgun targets? Do you have those?
That's why I
Yeah,
brought
all
the
of these
clay.
are. We have big pieces of plate if you want to pattern your shotguns. and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
Like that. But we all of them are rated for shotguns, pistols, and rifles. So.
What's it going to take for Primo to get in with the military?
That's what we really want to do.
Yeah.
It's get in on their bidding and stuff. So
Hello, Barksdale. Are you listening? You know somebody.
Well, it's the same thing with the law enforcement agencies, state
God,
police,
If you will, tell me why Primo is better than another brand out there. And I don't even know. You're the only one I know of. Tell me why you're better, why I would want to purchase a Primo target. And Chris, this might be a question for you. Why is this better than something else that might be available?
I can tell you one thing I know for sure, that we stand behind every piece of this plate, and it's hard to guarantee something people can really destroy with guns and stuff.
You're gonna shoot it.
But if anything faults on it, I stand behind it, and I'll replace any piece of it.
And that's what I was going to say. It's our customer service. I mean, Russ has gotten an order from somebody in Dallas, and he drove to Dallas to drop it off to him. Yeah. And he's never had a complaint. If he does, he takes care of it. That we stand behind our product 100%.
Well, and the money stays local.
That's it. We are. I'm a Shreveport guy. He lives in Bossier.
Yeah.
Our shop's over in Marshall. We are 100% local.
It's all American steel. It's all Texas steel, but it's all American steel. So, and I can guarantee a lot of people will buy targets online, and they don't know. if they're getting the actual AR 500 or AR 400 or mild steel or not. But I can guarantee you all our metal is AR 500 heat treated metal, and that's something people like to have.
Okay, we've stimulated somebody's interest, and they want to look at these.
That's right.
Where do they go? What do they do?
We have our website, www.primotargets.com. We also have a Facebook page where we're also always updating new products and things that we're developing.
It's the Cajun spelling of Primo.
I say it's the LSU Tiger spelling, but yeah, we can go with the Cajun style.
LSU might tend to sue you over that.
Good point.
Well,
delete that.
Is that the way you wanted it, or did you have to spell Primo that way to not infringe on
Will Primo?
Yes.
Primo.
No, growing up, we use the slang word primo, meaning the best.
Yeah.
And I'm from Texas, born and raised in Houston. When I moved to Louisiana,
You automatically thought you were better enough.
everything it has a Cajun flavor.
I'm
to it.
with you. I'm from Texas.
Texas.
So that's
We
how the
are.
name
We are
came
better.
about.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 the Tiger.
Before dinner on Friday night. No, I don't ever wanna know. No other shotgun rider beside me.
The Hook It Up and Tracking Down show thanks you for tuning us in today. This segment presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, Nichols Department Stores, Bellevue Meat Processing, and Candyman Pet Lodge. Treat your dog to the best indoor and outdoor facilities around, or maybe some one-on-one training. Candyman Pet Lodge, the only place for man's best friend.
Here's a quick word from Seagar Fishing Line, top choice of professional anglers and weekend warriors, fresh or salt water. They have a line to fit your needs. Fluorocarbons like Finesse, Flippin', Abrazex, Invisex, and or Tatsu. Or try their best all-around fluorocarbon line, Red Label. Seaguard leads the way to winning stringers. Go to Bayou Outdoor Supercenter, Toledo Town and Tackle, Cypress Knee Outdoors to see some of the best Seaguard product around. Go to seaguard.com to learn more.
And on our Primo Targets hotline right now, Justin Lucas, your BASS Angler of the Year this year. Has that sunk in just how big of an accomplishment that is for you, Justin?
It has started to. I'm not going to lie, but it is still crazy at the same time to see that trophy at my house and, know that there's not very many people in the world that have them. In fact, I'm just the 23rd guy to get an Angler of the Year trophy, which is pretty crazy.
Tell the truth. You slept with it the first night, didn't you? It was right there.
I should have,
yeah.
But we had too many drinks that night to even think about it.
Yeah, but it was on the pillow. I know. You've polished it 2 or 3 times since you got it.
Justin, we had you on. We had you on your first year on tour. You happened to come through Shreveport. Y'all fished Red River, and I think I helped hook you up with a local buddy of mine that I think went on Red River with you. To see where you were then, and now we all knew what your dreams and goals were, but to see where you are today, did you expect it to happen as quick as it did?
Probably not that fast, honestly. And you can't ever really know if you're gonna win an Angler of the Year, man. There's so many variables that come into play, over the course of a whole season. So it's one of those things that I could go down the list and name some amazing fishermen that have not won an Angler of the Year.
Right.
And so it's hard to look back then and say, yeah, I see myself where I am. I'm not took any shortcuts on the work. We've been working hard at it all along, and it has been the goal all along. So we reached that, and now I want more.
Well, Justin, Mike Eccles here, and thank you for being with us today. This is something I always try to ask everybody who's done something like what you have accomplished, and that's why did it happen? What came together? Was it like you looked at the schedule and says, "Oh man, these are my lakes, my time of the year," or did you just go all year long and just never lose a fish? Something happened that put you ahead of everybody else, and it had to be. It had to be in the scheduling. It had to be in the timing that you went to the lakes. What was it?
I don't really care about a schedule. Everybody always asks me what I think about a schedule, and I really don't care. And as far as losing fish, to be honest, I really believe that the way I have all my gear set up, I don't lose that many fish. I know I only lost maybe 5 or 6 fish all year that would have gave me extra points. And I caught a lot of fish this year, so that's a pretty small number, to be honest.
Right.
So more than anything, I think it was just my wife and I having our first baby and them being able to travel with me on the road. Probably more than anything, it really just put, I think, everything into perspective. That now that I have a little guy, he's 11 months old almost. Now that I have him, it's when I get off the water and when I'm out there fishing, there's more important things to life than just fishing. And I think it really helped me settle down and kind of mature, not that I wasn't mature before, but I think it just helps you get to a different point in life and you look at everything with a different perspective. And I would just say that was bigger than anything else for me, hands down.
Well, and I'm glad you said that because a lot of people would say to do this, to accomplish it, I have got to put my fishing career ahead of everything else. And you're just saying that you realize that it's not the most important thing in life, and you did what you've never done before and what only 22 other people have done. So I think that says a lot for you.
Yeah, you definitely, my focus has always been on fishing. And when I'm fishing, I fish my butt off. I practice really hard. I do everything else like everyone else, but having the little guy and looking at life differently, I think just settled me down where I could, really just kind of fish freely, so to speak. And I've got some great partners now where I don't have to catch fish to make a living. I'm going to do all right, with the sponsors that I've got, even if I'm not cashing checks, at least for a couple of years until they drop me if I'm not catching them. But that certainly. Just that kind of settled, free feeling is the biggest. That was the biggest factor this year.
Justin, I want to bring up something because you're talking about looking at things differently, and this is a question we've never posed of anyone on our show before. Here you are, you're the reigning BASS Angler of the Year. And Mike brought up a really good question, and obviously something was different this year than there was the previous year, because the previous year you were not the Angler of the Year. This year you were, so something came together. And there's the old adage that luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And you're a workhorse. I mean, you constantly are doing your due diligence and pre-fishing and things of that nature. You're studying maps and GPS coordinates and things of that nature. How much luck enters the picture in the life of a professional angler?
I am a big proponent for saying there's zero. If you rely on any amount of luck to make a living in this sport, you will get your butt kicked very quickly. And certainly for Angler of the Year, I would say that there's no luck. I won by 70, or what I won by, not 70 points, like 50 points or 55 points or something, So that is a pretty wide margin that I can't look back over any time and be like, man, I got lucky and that's why I won it. And that's what I love about 3 and 4 day tournaments is maybe a 1 day tournament. Yeah, maybe a guy gets lucky. He casts out there, he gets a backlash, picks up the line, and he's got a 9-pounder on, something like that. But for the most part, over 3 or 4 days, over the course of a year, that's the whole purpose of that, right? Is it takes any kind of, maybe factors that you want to say are somewhat like luck or whatever. It takes all that out of the picture, because to get that kind of advantage, several days or several times in a row, it's just not realistic. It might happen once for a guy, but it's not going to happen multiple times.
I think a better word, Justin, is experience. Experience on all these different types of bodies of water that y'all go to, and some of them are repetitive. Some of them you go to year after year after year. That has to play into your situation. The more you go to a body of water, the better you're going to be at it. But I think the one thing you touched on earlier, and I want to go back to that a little bit, having your family on the road, it seems to me, talking to some of the anglers, that is so important and huge from their mental aspect of how they wake up every day and attack the water.
Absolutely. Fishing is more mental than anything else. There's a little bit of physical in it, if you're going to practice long hours and that kind of stuff, but it's a mental sport more than anything. And you gotta excuse me, guys. I got a smallmouth on here.
He's actually
he's fishing right
now. I could tell you were doing something. I just couldn't figure out what it was.
Well, we'll let you, as long as it's 4 pounds or better.
Yeah.
If it's under 4 pounds, then you got to keep talking.
I'm in a kayak, and it's about 1.5 pounds small.
Oh, you kayaker.
Yeah, it's fun. This is how I, relax and get a little peace out in the water. So, anyway, mention that again, Steve. Where was I at?
Well, it was talking about how important it is to have your family on the road and the stability that brings.
Yeah, that bass fishing at our level is such a mental deal. You're away from home, away from your family. Most guys are. And for me, I just didn't want that to even be a factor or think about it. So my wife and I looked at, not everyone can do this. We're fortunate enough we can, but we looked at quality of life. She was working as a full-time nurse, and I was traveling full-time a couple of years ago, and we just said, hey, let's enjoy this. We don't need to work harder to make more money to have better things. We'll settle for some things, that we don't need so that we can be together. And that really, together, her and I, that was the best decision that we've made, because I can't imagine not having them on the road. And it'll be tough when my boy gets in school, but, hopefully by then, too, like you're saying, Steve, and like I'm getting to at this point in my career, I'm getting enough experience that I won't need to put in maybe as many pre-practice days and scouting trips ahead of the tournament.
Right.
Justin, I'm going to ask you, if you will, just hold on with us just a little bit more, because we've got some other questions we'd love to run through with you if you don't turn the kayak over.
Yeah, sure, no problem, guys.
We are hooking up and tracking down Justin Lucas, your reigning Angler of the Year, the BASS Angler of the Year. And we're going to visit with him because some big changes coming in his life very soon. We'll talk about that. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
Being social is what we do at Hooking Up and Tracking Down, so check out our Facebook page at a Hooking Up and Tracking Down show. This segment presented by United Rentals, Sealy Outdoors, Honey Baked Hams, and Wildwood Resort. One of Toledo Bend's finest resorts and a great place to get away from it all. Wildwood Resort.
You know, the holidays are getting close. It's amazing how fast the year's gone.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Your dinner would not be complete without a honey-baked ham. They also offer great smoked turkeys. That means you don't have to fry them if you don't want to. Right. Complete your holiday meal with a pecan, not a pecan.
Yeah,
pecan or sweet potato pie, which is one of my favorites. Got lunch on your mind? They've got great deli offerings like salads, sandwiches, chips, and cookies. Don't forget they have a great catering service located at 5739 Uri Drive in Shreveport, or just call 318-865-4411 for your honey baked ham. You know, and we do the traditional Thanksgiving. You know, we do the
turkey and ham.
We do the turkey, we do the ham, we do the homemade chicken and dumplings,
giblet gravy,
everything. And we've got to where for Christmas we do something like red beans and rice or ham sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
You know, we just don't. It's just too much to do.
Yeah.
You know, about 4 weeks apart, and this doesn't have to be. We've said it before. This doesn't have to be for holidays. Anytime you want a great meal and don't have time to cook it, get you a honey baked ham.
You know what I miss? Of course, since Mom has passed away, was her mince meat pies.
Never had one.
Never had a
Never
mince
had
meat.
one.
Have you?
Nope.
Never had
I
one.
can't believe you ain't never had one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a staple.
I was too busy eating hoghead cheese.
On our Primo Targets hotline, the current reigning BASS Angler of the Year, Justin Lucas. And Justin, the entire remainder of your career is going to be determined by your response to this next question.
Okay.
Didn't know that was coming, did you?
No,
I want you to say I want you to say the word PECAN.
PECAN?
PECAN.
Pronounce it.
Pecan?
Now, truthfully, you
What are
wouldn't
you
eat,
saying now?
you wouldn't eat a pecan pie, would you?
I would.
Would you
I love
really?
pecan
Oh
pie.
my
Never had it in
God! See,
California.
Justin, I thought you were
What about-
going to be right and say pecan.
Yeah, what about pecan pie? Would you eat one of those?
Oh, I see where you guys are going with this.
Okay,
say
Justin's in a
pecan,
kayak
not
catching
pecan.
smallmouth, and he says pecan. I bet you got on pink no-show socks, don't you?
Well, you tricked me, man. When you spell it out like that, it's like, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. But,
You're not a big crossword puzzle guy, are you?
no,
Me neither.
pecan pie.
There we go.
Pecan.
See,
There you
Justin,
go.
and now welcome back to the circle of winners.
There you go.
Okay, I'm looking at something right here, Justin, that Steve Graff just gave Mike and I. It is the MLF Bass Pro Tour Anglers. And here's the name, Justin Lucas, on here right now from Alabama.
Yep.
Is that weird?
Well, I think it's weird for everyone that has paid attention to the fishing industry for the last 15, 20 years of their whole life, right?
Yeah.
It's a new circuit. So, yeah, it is weird. It was a really hard position for me because I had just won Angler of the Year, but that's why I waited till the end, till my very last day to make a decision because I wanted to see the competition that was going. And, you know, I just can't, as a competitor and a guy that wants to beat the best, I couldn't stay at Bassmaster and compete against, the guys that, let's just face it, the best competition overall moved to MLF. And so that was really the deciding factor to me. I felt like the fans would follow that and the longevity would go that direction because of that. And I'm a big fan of golf. I've loved the PGA Tour. And if the top 50 guys or 60 guys from the PGA Tour went somewhere else, guess where I'm going to go?
Yeah.
You know, so that's my position on
That's
that.
pretty sound logic.
Yeah, exactly. What was the one thing, because I know you looked at this really hard, all of you had to, because to leave the foundation of BASS or even an FLW guy, but what was the one thing, Justin, that you said, oh, I can't turn this down. I have to make this move.
The competition.
That's
Period.
it. That's
I
it.
mean,
It's the
I got into
competition.
this from the very. I got into bass fishing tournaments from the very beginning, wanting to make it all the way to the top. And if I'm not competing against the very best, then I don't feel like I'm at the top. And so a win on Angler of the Year next, if I was to win Angler of the Year next year on the Elite, it wouldn't mean nearly as much as it meant this year because of how stacked the field was. And you can ask anybody that. That's nothing. That's not bad talk or talking down on the circuit or anything like that. I don't think they have any Classic or AOY winners left over there except for Rick Hunt. So that's huge in my opinion, and people will see that. You guys are looking at the list. I'm sure your mouths are like, wow, these
without
are
a doubt,
the main guys, And I mean, I got into this from the very beginning, wanting to be the best, wanting to beat the best, and I'm not going to do that by sitting around and winning tournaments easier, making top tens easier. Because the competition's not as stiff. That, to me, doesn't get me fired up.
Justin sounds like he wants to stomp a mud hole in Van Dam and Hackney's butt.
Well, that's my next question. If Van Dam doesn't make this jump, Justin, how many guys probably don't make the jump either? How important was Van Dam signing on?
Yeah, he was the critical part of it. Ike and Ellie, there's a lot of high-profile guys that may not be fishing as well lately, but that they were still critical. But then, a lot of the best fishermen were critical too. And heck, we even got Andy Morgan and Cody Meyer and some really great Mark Rose, really great guys from FLW over there too. So really, it is the strongest field I think that's ever been put together for a professional tour all year long.
Justin, what triggered this whole idea, in your opinion? What triggered this idea? Did the people at MLF just say, hey, we want to start a circuit, or was it something that said everything in existence now is lacking something and we think we need to form this and include it?
I don't know for sure what they were thinking. I think that they started a TV show years ago, and it's grown obviously like crazy. And it's allowed them to come to this point, where they have this decision. And I think that's the biggest thing that's been lacking in our sport for years that most other major sports have. And that's television time. We might get 60, 80 hours a year from bass, but now they're talking 850 hours. And that is really what you need to grow the sport, get new people involved. Because your hardcore fans, they'll go to the website. They'll pay attention to the social media. They'll do all that. But to reach new people, you have to be on television, and they're really putting the emphasis on that. I think that is going to help grow the future, grow the sport in the future, and that's what I want to be a part of, And if it doesn't work out, I'm going to always focus on fishing, make sure that my fishing is doing well enough that I can go qualify for bass or FLW down the road again if I need to.
You know what, Justin? This just occurred to me. There's going to be a Bassmasters Classic. Are any of you guys going to be there for that? Yeah. I mean, you just
they all qualified.
That's what I'm saying. You qualified, but are you going to show up to fish
all
the
going to
Classic?
be there.
Yep, I'll be there. Van Dam will be there. Ike and Ellie, all the guys that qualified that are going on to MLS will all be there. Might be a little bit weird, but I left Bass. I tried to leave Bass as respectfully as possible. I called them, let them hear it from me, not from someone else. And so I hope that they'll respect that, and gosh, at the end of the day, I have to make the decision that I feel is best for me and my family, and that's all you can do.
Okay, when you show up to fish the Classic, Justin, any of y'all, this is just curiosity, will you be allowed to wear any type of patch logo or anything on your boat or stuff that says MLF?
Highly doubt that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can answer that.
I wonder if at the Classic this year
Well,
they
you
don't go
can
back
answer
to the
it, but it
old
wouldn't
thing
be
where
right.
they
I would
provide
be
you
right,
with
too.
the boat.
That ain't happening.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. I didn't know what their restrictions were now.
Yeah.
Do they have restrictions? Does BASS in its present form, has there ever been restrictions on what you could wear as far as sponsor logos or have wraps on your boat?
I don't think they allow competing logos, and heck,
Okay.
I don't blame any of them.
Certainly,
to allow
no,
that.
no.
Right.
Justin, what do you think? I mean, have you seen a potential schedule for MLF yet?
I have not. And like I said, I really don't care.
Well,
you know, where I grew up in California.
Well, you got to start packing at some point.
I don't care where the schedule goes. Every year people ask me, and it doesn't matter. I feel like, you know, over the course of a year, there's going to be enough places that fit into what I like to do that I'll have some good tournaments, and I'm sure I'll have some bad ones. But I never look at a schedule and think, oh, this is good for me or it's bad for me, because it really doesn't matter. You got to go catch them no matter what the schedule is.
Okay, Justin, how many tournaments did you have to fish bass to qualify for the Classic? How many tournaments did you have to fish?
The first time I qualified for the Classic was the first year on the Elite.
No. I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I'm talking about in a year. How many
qualifier events to get to the Classic?
9.
9, and there's how many in MLF?
There's one left. 8 of them, I guess.
No. I mean, how many in the new year for MLF? How many in their circuit do you have to qualify? Isn't it 8?
That's what he said.
Okay,
8.
Eight. Okay, one less. I'm sorry. I
thought
you said one
left.
left.
There's one left and a tour championship, which is going to be like the Bassmaster Classic.
Okay. Did the anglers want more or less overall? Did they want more or less tournaments to qualify for a championship?
You know, I have no idea. I wasn't a part of any discussions like that, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, Justin Lucas, congratulations. Angler of the Year. Going to go fish the Classic. You never know. That would be really weird if you win the Classic and then your very next tournament is an MLF event.
Yeah.
I'd be all right with it.
Oh, well, of course. I know. I mean, but that would still be strange. But you know what? The stranger things have and will continue to happen. But certainly we've enjoyed having you on and hope that you'll come back again, especially after you win the Classic. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'll work, guys. I'd love to do it.
Justin, thank you, brother. We
Thank
certainly
you, Justin.
appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
All right, thank you, guys.
And catch us another fish. Don't turn the kayak over.
Yeah.
Will do.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
Her heels and the stallions flank again. Get up on your high horse.
How about another hour of the best outdoors show on the radio? It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show. This segment presented by Ranger Boats, Despino and Jim's Big South Tire, the Red River Waterway Commission, and Rio Ammunition, specializing in sporting and hunting shotgun shells since 1896. Once again, here's Gary, Steve, and Mike.
Gary McCoy here, along with the Ranger Iowa Pro staffer Steve Graff, the old mud hen Mike Eccles, and we are hooking up and tracking down. And this part of the show is brought to you by Rio Ammunition. You know what? I don't know what's in the water in Marshall, Texas.
What?
But have you thought about it? Primo Targets in Marshall, Texas. Rio Ammunition in Marshall, Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, are they becoming like the
a little
hub,
combination there.
the
Yeah.
worldwide hub of shooting sports?
No doubt.
I mean,
No
is
doubt.
that what's going on in Marshall, Texas?
I'm telling you.
Rio Ammunition, established in 1896, focused on innovation and production development. Rio specializes in sporting and hunting shotgun shells, now running a new state-of-the-art facility in, guess where? Marshall, Texas. Technology advanced cases, primers, powder, wads, and shot, the cleanest shooting shell on the market. If you want to learn more and find a dealer near you, go to rioammo.com. And speaking of Primo, because they're also in Marshall, Primo Targets Hotline, on the phone with us, FLW Pro Charlie Evans. And Charlie, gosh, it's been a couple of years since we had you on.
Has it been that
Has it been that long? Seemed like only yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it's because we're that kind of hosts. You know, I mean,
You all are awesome.
Did you
You
get the
all are
check? You
awesome.
got the check that Steve sent you?
Yeah.
You know, for being on with us.
I
Quiet,
enjoyed it,
Gary.
you know, this
He
my
pays
favorite
everybody
radio.
else, Charlie.
He don't know we pay everybody.
I
We-
pay him to get on.
Amen.
We just had Justin Lucas on, but we didn't pay him a dime. So
he's rubbing
What
a
a
bunch of
fine
nickels
young
together.
man.
Oh,
yeah, Justin is a good guy, good angler.
Now listen, you know, Charlie, here it wasn't that long ago. We were talking to Scott Martin, and you know, it seemed like the top of his tower at that point was the upcoming International Bass Tournament, and give us a little bit of insight. How was that all put together? You know, and how does somebody qualify to be on that team? And then where's the competition? That kind of stuff.
I'll be glad to tell you all about it. It is very exciting. Last fall, our team went down to South Africa. None of them had ever been on that water before on the Vaal River, and they came back with a silver medal and came very close to winning that thing. So now we're headed to Mexico, and I don't know if I can say this. Steve probably knows the name of this lake, Lake Cajilo or something of that nature.
No.
It's about an hour and a half from the border, and it is stock full of some giant bass. I think lake records are in the 15-pound range.
Wow.
And so we're going to send another team down to Mexico at the 1st of November. The tournament dates are 1, 2, and 3. Practices before that, November, 1, 2, and 3. We go down on the 28th of October and do some practice, and then we've got 3 days of competition there. An 8-man team. We'll have 6 guys on the water each day of competition. And we're going for the gold this time. It's the Bass World Championship. It'll be the largest one ever. More countries involved this year than ever before. They're coming from all around the globe. Very exciting. And Scott Martin's our team captain. He's got a great lineup. We added Terry Bolton in for this event here. Of course, you know Terry from FLW Tour, Kentucky Lake, Ledge Master, and if this is a deep water event, which it very well could be, it'll be very warm water down in Mexico, then Terry could come in and play. David Fritz, of course, deep water master. We've got Mark Rose. We got Scott Canterbury. We got David Dudley. We have got Fred Rubanis, James Worldwide Watson. We've got a great team headed that way.
And not one of them has an avionics chip of this place.
But none of them have the personality of James Watson either.
We're a wild
It's a Worldwide Watson. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it wouldn't shock me at all to see these guys win the gold medal down there in Mexico and bring it back home to the United States. We're very proud of this team, and all this, guys, is leading up to our bid to part of U.S. Angling, and which is part of an international group called CIPSED, and those are acronyms for some French or Italian word that I don't understand. Basically, it's an international organization that's applied to the International Olympic Committee to make bass fishing an Olympic sport, and that's all part of this effort. which will culminate for us in the near future after winning the gold in Mexico in 2020. The United States will host the World Championship for the very first time ever on Lake Murray in near Columbia, South Carolina, and we'll have members of the Olympic Committee down there watching that event. To host it here in the United States for the first time, it's going to be really exciting.
Charlie, how many teams, and you may have said this, how many teams are going to be, how many different countries are going to be represented in this event in Mexico?
All right, let me back up just a little bit. And when we went down to South Africa, there were 78 countries involved, and 13 of them sent teams to South Africa.
Wow.
Now we're up to 115 countries involved, and we will have a record number. I haven't seen the final number, but it should be approaching 20.
Wow.
We got Japan the first time, Australia coming the first time, Mexico, Canada will be coming for the very first time. It's just growing by leaps and bounds, and again, it's great for our sport. If we can make bass fishing an Olympic sport, what a shot in the arm that would be for our entire industry.
Well, there was actually only going to be 114 teams, but the Jamaican bobsled team broke their ride. So
and their egg.
They decided they'd
well,
go
now you may
fishing.
laugh a little bit.
They couldn't
about
put a
that.
troll motor on the bobsled.
Germany has no bass, and they have a bass team. The Costa Rica team that competed in the Pan Am last February on Okeechobee were all saltwater anglers. So you don't actually have to have bass in your country to have a bass team and compete around the globe.
Well, that was my question.
You know what's going to be really bad is if y'all go to some lake one day that doesn't have any bass.
Yeah. That was my question. How many countries can really participate and possibly host in this event? Because I know bass are native to a lot of countries.
Well, they're not native, but thanks to our military, that we have spread bass around the world. We have in our military, as you guys know, we're big military fans, fans of our armed forces. Those people keep us safe. Our government knows that their number one activity that they'd like to be doing is fishing. Mm-hmm. And so the United States, through its military, has spread bass around the world. That's how they got in Japan. That's how they got in Hawaii. It's by our military, and it's actually spread bass around the world because when our guys are out there fighting for our freedoms and protecting the world, when they get some time off, the number one thing they'd like to do is go bass fishing.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I guess my next thing was going to be, did they spread bass legally? Did they talk to somebody before? Because that kind of happens.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, let me tell you though, when we go in there with tanks and airplanes and ships and all the hardware, when we go to help a country fight for freedom and protect freedom around the globe, who is it that's going to stare down that nose of that tank and say, "No, don't put any bass in my pot"?
Exactly. Not me.
No.
Well, Charlie, let's switch gears here just a little bit. I know you don't want to talk. We're not going to talk bad about anybody, but in your opinion, the state of professional bass fishing now, with everything, the big shakeup that's just taking place, and you're a former CEO with FLW. What impact does this really have on both these organizations, BASS and FLW, and overall fishing impact in the industry?
Well, it certainly is going to have an impact. As you know, it's been a lot of internet chatter, a lot of talk, a lot of things, and 11 of those anglers that went to Major League Fishing came from FLW, and they were all good anglers. The remaining of the 80 came from BASS and some really big names. But I tell folks and kind of remind them, and I don't need to remind you guys, but maybe remind some of your listeners, those guys are heroes in our sport. The guys that went to Major League Fishing, they are big name heroes, but they became big name heroes because of the power of BASS and the power of FLW, with their magazine subscription, their internet presence, their television presence, and then a lot of it had to do with their event. Putting on tournaments, putting on big events, and of course the granddaddy of them all, the Bassmasters Classic. We often called it. That's the foundation of our sport, the Bassmasters Classic. more people look at that, more people go to that, more people than anything else. Those are important interactions for the fans, and that's where heroes, people go to meet their heroes and take pictures with the heroes and talk to their heroes. And like I said, it's a big. So Bass has proven many times that they have a platform, as has FLW, to build heroes in sport. And so even though a lot of the names that we would call our heroes now and the leaders of the sport have moved over to Major League Fishing, there will be more new heroes emerge this coming year from both FLW and from Bass. They make them. They not. I mean, still you got to have talent. You got to be able to catch fish and all that kind of stuff. Be able to talk, but still they have the platform to be able to create heroes. And it's just like when I was a big NBA fan. I almost went to the NBA, just missed by about 3 feet. But Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, when he was playing basketball, we thought, man, and he was the greatest basketball player ever. And then when he retired, people said, man, will the sport be able to go on without him? Same way with Joe Namath, in football.
And they were right, it didn't.
all the heroes that in sports when they retire, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer. When people move on, more heroes emerge, and same way in air sport. As people, as much as we as we miss Guido Hibden when one of our members of one of our heroes passes, then someone else will step up, and that's the nature of sports and our sport and all sports. The thing that we need people to understand is our sport is strong, our industry is strong. It's made up of really, really good people, and so I've got a bright outlook, especially with all the things that you guys know of, and I'm sure your listeners know of, the absolutely phenomenal growth of college and high school fishing is just unbelievable.
Amen.
And so we are having a lot more people that getting involved at a younger age in fishing and aiming for the top. And so if I did my calculating right, 80 for MLF, 80 for Bass, 150 to 160 for FLW Tour, I added up more opportunities at the top than before.
Well,
and more places for people to play than we had this time last year.
And the worst case scenario would be if we start cannibalizing ourselves. We start talking bad in our own industry. That would be the worst case scenario. I think there's plenty of room, as you've alluded to already, Charlie. There's plenty of room. There's a lot of different gold trophies that can be held. A lot of different opportunities for these young collegiate and high school anglers to go to. So the worst thing that we could do is start bad mouthing each one of the different tours.
I thought Mark Zona said it best. You've got Aaron Rodgers and whoever is playing quarterback for the Green Bay Packers or Tom Brady. There's still going to be a Super Bowl when those guys retire. There's still going to be a Bassmaster Classic, and there's still going to be an FLW Cup. So what a great opportunity for some up-and-coming person, whoever that angler is, to have a shot at making a great career.
Absolutely. Our sport is strong. About the only disappointment I have is that we've got 3 organizations and we don't have what was commonly called the co-angler. In any of the 3, that's a little disappointing to me because that is a great way to move from the back of the boat to the front of the boat. There's nothing better, no better training ground, and I hope one of these days that we'll see that emerge once again because I firmly believe that the co-angler side at the very top level is an asset to our sport.
I totally agree, Charles. I hated it when they eliminated it, especially when FLW did it. That really bothered me. But hey, it is what it is.
Charlie Evans, thank you, sir. We really appreciate you and what you mean to the bass fishing world. And that's with earnest. You truly are a man among boys.
Yep.
I appreciate that so much. Sport's been really good to me, and I enjoy it. Enjoy all the people in it. Again, I want to say a very special thank you to the folks from Nickelodeon and Kidcasters, which allows me to get out there and do what my mission is now in my second career. My mission is to make sure we get kids with their families outside fishing, in your all's case, fishing and hunting. There's no better way to raise young men and young women than in the outdoors, and the Nickelodeon and Kidcasters gives me the opportunity to be out there and be able to talk to a lot of kids through the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and this year Paw Patrol to talk to kids, and the Kidcasters No Tangle Rod is a winner. It lets the kids, real young, be able to grab a rod and reel and throw it without tangling up. And those folks are really important. They're a sport in our industry for all of us. Getting young people outside is super important. I call it my mission is to release kids from electronic prison.
Charlie, have you fished with one of the turtles yet?
I've had them all four of them in the boat with me, and quite frankly, I'm better than they are. But don't tell them that.
Thank you, Charlie.
Charlie Evans, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, and thank you to Nickelodeon for taking care of our Charlie Evans. We appreciate that.
There you go.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
I turned around. I'm not a star.
Want to be a better cook at your camp? Go to HUTDshow.com for some of the best recipes. They're going to blow your mind. This segment presented by Daiwa Rods and Reels, Bayou Outdoor Supercenter, Seaguar Fishing Line, and Commercial Power Equipment. Exmark makes more than lawnmowers. They make a great UTV as well. Check them out at Commercial Power Equipment at 750 Burcoons in Shreveport.
Hunting season's right around the corner, and if your dog's been in the kennel and hadn't been trained and you think he needs a little tuning up before you go the duck blind, or your pet that's sleeping on the bed has developed some bad habits.
Or he keeps eating your no-show socks.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't even get full on those.
That's a problem.
If you've got any of those problems or you've got a new dog, consider Candyman Pet Lodge. Candyman is a first-class kennel owned by Wayne Neeson. Offers both inside and outside facilities. One-on-one dog training available, grooming and bathing. Hell, I might go out there.
Yeah. You need
Charlotte might send you.
Yeah. Special place for man's best friend located just west of Greenwood, Louisiana. Call 903-766-DOGS, D-O-G-S. I love when somebody does a phone number like that.
That you can remember?
Simple-minded like people like 903-766-DOGS. If you're going anywhere for the holidays on vacation and they don't want your yapping dog at their house.
Yeah.
Rest assured, they do not want your yapping dog at their house.
Or lapping dog.
Don't even have to wonder. They do not want your yapping dog at their house.
I don't know why people show up and say, oh, you don't mind if I let Roscoe Inn, do you?
Yes,
Well, yeah.
I might.
Yeah, and he's as big as a horse.
Yeah. No, it's some little Pomeranian.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, let him hang out there with my bobcat. You know.
Bobcat.
Hey, you know what? Before we get to our LDWF news.
Yeah. And Outdoor Outlaws.
Yeah, and outdoor. How long? 6 months or a year? How long before the gloves are going to come off? And somebody somewhere is going to say, this is why this is all going on in the industry of fishing right now. How long? Somebody somewhere.
I think it's already happening because.
But I mean, nobody has said anything public yet.
Yeah.
Nobody, you know, and granted, rest assured, what we said to Charlie was not a lie. The worst thing that could happen is that we start fighting internally.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you that Mike was on to something a little earlier. The MLF was created out of necessity because Boyd Duckett did not need to launch an entire circuit like this to command the television audience that he's already got with the regular Major League Fishing.
Right. Well, we heard their
So
goal.
somebody somewhere, you know what? You remember my old buddy Andy Deloney?
Oh, yeah.
Andy Deloney, God love him. He's
You'd have to.
Andy Deloney said something one time that was so profound, and I quote him all the time. He says, nothing ever changes till somebody gets unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, no woman ever came home and told her husband, I love you so much I want a divorce.
Well, one of the things that talking to Boyd, actually on a phone conversation with Boyd, they wanted more anglers to be able to make a living. Because on the BASS tour, and probably FLW, throw them in there the same way, the top 20% are the guys really making a living fishing. The rest of them are fishing check to tournament, trying to make a check.
Welcome to the real world, guys.
To survive.
Welcome to the real
But
world.
MLF is designed for more guys to be able to make a living than they were with BASS. Distribution of the money.
You know what? A lot of people would call that socialism.
Call it what you want, but all I know is a bunch of people jumped ship for it.
Well, I understand. And you know what? There's a lot of people put Barack Obama in office for 8 years.
Yeah.
Well, MLF, BASS, FLW. I'm not gonna pick any sides until I see who the Kardashians start fishing with.
Well, I'm with you, Mike. Yeah.
If Charlie Evans is out there with one of the Ninja Turtles, I'm probably gonna watch that too.
And I'm excited for Kanye West getting to meet with President Trump.
Yeah,
that's important in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And why is he meeting with him? How come we can't meet with him? Hooking up, and tracking down.
Okay, we got some outdoor outlaws. Some real idiots. We're just idiot wannabes. These are real idiots.
I'll do the first one. Over the limit of bass. Agent cited Ray Lovier Jr., 65 of Prairieville, and Robert Holland, 80 of Livingston, for possessing over the limit of black bass. Agents received a complaint about fishermen possessing over the legal limit of bass on Bayou Black. I fished down there. That's Kevin Van Dam's family actually owns part of that. Agents set up surveillance at a boat launch near Gibson, where they found a truck and empty boat trailer. When a vessel with Lovier Jr. and Holland approached the marina, agents made contact with the men. Agents found the men in possession of 53 bass, which took them over 33 over the legal limit of 10 bass per day per fisherman. Over the limit of black bass brings a $100 to $350 fine, up to 30 days in jail. The men may also face civil restitution totaling $443 for replacement value of the illegal possessed fish. It ain't worth all that.
Now, wait a minute. They've got 53 bass.
Yeah.
Think this was the first time they had over the limit?
No, they just got caught.
That's what I'm saying. You think this was and you know what? Mike has brought this to attention with Lake Bistineau.
Yeah. Or Black
Do you think they were the only people that caught over the limit?
No.
No, and $100 to $350 is a fine is not going to stop anybody. But $350 fine and $100 a fish.
Oh.
Will ring your bell.
Oh, dude.
Or suspending your ability to fish for a couple of years.
I don't know that would really matter either, because you never see anybody with no driver's license driving a vehicle.
Well, no, never.
That never happens.
No, exactly.
Okay. Deer hunting violations in Natchitoches Parish. Go figure. Agent cited Justin S. Matthews, age 20, of Roebelane, That could be some kinfolks on my wife's side.
Yeah, it could be.
For taking deer during the closed season, possession of an illegally taken deer, hunting without resident and big game license, failure to process deer tags, and failing to comply with deer tagging requirements. Agents received a tip about an 8-point buck that was shot northwest of Roebelin. After further investigations, agents made contacts with Matthews. Matthews admitted, keep this in mind, that key word, admitted to agents that he shot the deer the evening before around 6:30 p.m. using a Marlin 30-30 rifle with a scope. Agents seized the deer meat, antlers, and the rifle with the scope. Matthews may face civil restitution of $2,033 for the replacement value of the illegally taken deer. I said keep this in mind when I said admitted. Do you know what most poachers and a fish have in common?
Can't keep their mouth shut.
That's right. They wouldn't get caught if they kept their mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, when he admitted, obviously they don't have proof at that point that he did it. What do they put you in, like the Chinese water torture treatment or something? Because all of these people, I would because I'm not fixing to break the law to begin with.
Yeah.
But I would lie. I would just keep that lie would never die.
The one thing I've noticed watching Lone Star Law is if there's two guys, they separate them.
It don't matter.
And once they separate
I'm
them,
gonna lie.
one of those two is going to tell the
That
truth.
guy's lying.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. This is how it happened. If he says it happened any other way, he's a liar.
Yeah, he's a liar.
The Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries recommends, and this is back up again now, they recommend that deer hunters okay, this is not law.
Right.
They recommend that deer hunters not utilize supplemental feeds, as this increases the chance of spreading diseases among the deer using bait stations, including chronic wasting disease. Instead, the LDWF encourages hunters to focus on managing the native forage base on the land through prescribed fire, mechanical vegetation manipulation, and application of appropriate fertilizers. And you know what? I've mentioned this before. My real good friend Matt Williams went to college and learned all about this, and he says, if I was you guys, he said, I wouldn't plant food plots. He said, man, what I would do, after all of his education, he said, what I would do is I would find every little honeysuckle plot you've got on a place, and I would fertilize the crap out of it.
Makes sense.
And he says, because deer are not grazers, they're browsers.
Right.
And if you take care of stuff like that, well, all of a sudden, if you're taking care of that, have you not encouraged a whole bunch of deer to come together to eat in that same honeysuckle patch?
Yeah.
Isn't that what LDWF just told you?
Yeah.
Is the problem with putting bait stations together?
But do you see what you just read this? Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries is recommending that you take down your corn feeder,
right,
but set fire to the wood. They did.
Well, to me, this is a little bit late coming out. This should have happened in the spring. This recommendation will give guys time to do their supplemental.
They want to remind you, CWD, chronic wasting disease, has not been detected in Louisiana. However, the disease was discovered in the Mississippi county of Issaquah on January 25th earlier this year. The buck that tested positive for chronic wasting disease was discovered only a few miles from the Louisiana border on the east side of the Mississippi River. So that deer at some point probably crossed over in Louisiana. Well, yeah, maybe it didn't cross the river.
Maybe not.
Maybe the river was
Mississippi. That's a big river, too.
Yeah.
You ever had a bass boat on there?
No.
It's intimidating.
Down at Venice.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, it is. Especially when one of those big barges comes by.
Yeah. All right. Is that it?
All right.
All right. We're through.
Well, no, I'll tell you what, Jack Rothell just sent a text. He said, correct about the fishing split. The PBR was an offshoot of the PRCA, so more bull riders could make a living. Only 15 riders qualified for the NFR. So, and there's a difference in what you talk about, socialism and all this. Too bad, get a job. But if you want these people to continue to exist in your organization, they don't have to be millionaires, but they do have to be able to make a living.
Right.
So maybe the low end income of the fishermen was something they need to work on.
Well, the only way that the upper end is going to continue to make the money is to keep having idiots like me and Graff paying entry fees.
Hey, that's the reason I'm in the tournament business. Y'all two idiots.
We donate. Hey, got this from Joe Stevens. We just raised from Holy Angels. Just raised over $16,000 for Holy Angels this year through our tournament and all the other things that were involved with Holy Angels. We're proud to be a part of that affiliation, and I want to say thank you to all the anglers that participated this year, including myself, Gary. We were all there. Mike running the show. So, hey, job well done, guys, and next year let's make it bigger and better.
Okay, here in a second, the 2018 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame inductees. We'll run through the list for you. Hook it up and track it down. 11:30, the Tiger.
But he was killed.
Don't forget, you can catch us again Saturday mornings from 6 to 8 here on 1130 The Tiger. This segment is presented by Primo Targets, Wildwood Resort at Toledo Bend, and Davis Clothing and Outdoor. Start your hunting season right with some great camo apparel from Davis Clothing and Outdoor. Now back to Gary, Steve, and Mike.
Here's a quick word from Primo Targets, our newest sponsor, our hotline sponsor, Primo Targets Hotline. Looking to improve your shooting skills, or are you just a plinker? Either way, Primo Targets will make you a better shooter. Quality targets at an affordable price. Owner Chris Kennedy and Russ Herrock have a mission to make you a better hunter or competition shooter. Craftsmanship, quality, and passion are a part of what makes Primo Targets the best on the market today. Go to PrimoTargets.com to learn more.
We're going to get one of those to give away on our Facebook page, aren't we?
Sure
hey, listen, if you're not checking our Facebook page regularly, we constantly got some really cool stuff that we give away on there.
We're fixing to do a Bellevue Meats giveaway. When all the stuff Carla left us,
oh, dude,
all that away.
Yeah. Does that have one of her cookbooks in there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, sure does.
Cool stuff. All right, the 2018 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame induction class.
Okay, first off, explain what this is.
Yeah, is this BASS? Is it the IFGA?
It's not the IFGA. It's the new Hall of Fame that
that guy?
Bob Seeley went into last year up in Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
It's BASS affiliate. It's anybody affiliated with bass fishing, so it's a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
Okay, but it doesn't necessarily have to be BASS.
No, it can be FLW, it can be whatever.
It could just be somebody that
anybody related to the industry
taught fishing to kids on Saturday afternoons.
Yeah.
Hooking up, tracking down, anything.
Okay. So we're in the running.
We're in the running.
Okay.
At some point.
Okay.
All right, the first one we got, Berkeley Bedell. Berkeley, of course, everybody knows the name. Berkeley is synonymous with bass fishing. He was born in Spirit Lake, Iowa, March 5th, 1921. Burke, as they call him, began tying flies with dog hair and selling them to trout fishermen as a source of Depression-era income while he was still in high school. After serving in the U.S. Army during World War II, Bedell began to expand his Berkeley and Company, positioning it to become one of the world's largest fishing tackle companies And the company launched Trilene fishing lines, acquired numerous other brands over the years. Bedell was elected to Congress in 1977.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Served 5 terms. His son, Tom, served as CEO of the company, which became known as Pure Fishing in 1979.
If he was born in 1921, he's probably not going to be there himself to accept the award.
He was there.
Because he's 97 years old.
Well,
wow.
He was there.
He was there. He made the trip.
Somebody was there.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't him.
Okay. Might have been Tom.
It looked like an older guy. I saw the picture.
Well,
But
if you're-
You took a perfectly good joke and ruined it, Graf. Yeah, he was there.
I don't know if it's him or not, but he looked like he was.
Dr. James Henschel.
Maybe that was his son.
Now, listen to this. He was born in 1836.
He better not show
He
up.
was not there.
He did not make the ride. Died in 1925. He was the author of the first book on bass fishing, Book of the Black Bass, in 1881. It was the sport's earliest, or he was the sport's earliest advocate of note. A surgeon by trade, he designed the most popular rod and reel of his day, though he chose to patent neither because he believed his creation should be available to all manufacturers and anglers. He was also an innovator in hatchery management during his time with the U.S. Fish Commission. Henschel predicted the decline of trout fishing and habitat, as well as the rise of the bass in sportsmen's eyes. Though he wrote extensively for several outdoor publications, even to the end of his long life, he is probably best remembered for a single line in a bass book. I consider him, inch for inch and pound for pound, the gamest fish that swims. It's still the greatest comment on the greatest of game fish.
Cool.
He said that?
He said that.
I thought I wrote that.
Yeah.
Tommy Sanders. When one thinks of bass fishing television, Tommy Sanders rises to the top.
Amen.
The smooth, witty announcer has been the face of BASS on television since 2000. Sanders is synonymous with outdoor TV, gracing ESPN Outdoors for more than a quarter of a century. Jerry McInnes, a model of longevity with 44 years of the fishing hole, said he believes Sanders holds the distinction of appearing on the network more than any of the thousands of other personalities. Besides starting the FLW coverage, Sanders has hosted Steel Timber Sports, the Great Outdoors Game, the wraparound segment for the ESPN Outdoors block, but he's mainly known as the host of the Bassmasters, where he has earned numerous awards. Recently inducted into the Arkansas Outdoor Hall of Fame, Sanders is also known for the recent work as host of Bassmaster Live and The Live Well. He is also the father of Shelly Sanders from MLF.
No.
That's not true.
No, it's not. He lives in Mount Pleasant, Texas, by the way.
Does he really?
Shelly's dad does.
Oh.
Not Tommy.
Not Tommy.
Okay, I thought Tommy Sanders lived in Mount Pleasant. I was like,
No.
wow.
Shelly's dad does.
Okay. Hi, Shelly's dad.
Hi, Shelly. Hi, Shelly. All right, Helen Sevier. Sevier devoted 3 decades of service to the fishing industry, first as executive vice president and, from 1986 to 2001, CEO of BASS. Under her leadership, BASS grew to 600,000 members worldwide and conducted the world's most prestigious fishing tournament circuit. She worked tirelessly to promote the sport, fishing, and conservation, creating the Bassmaster Casting Kids program, which has introduced millions of youngsters to fishing in 1991. Sevier helped found the American Sport Fishing Association and served numerous industry boards and councils. Among her awards, the Willie E. Ricker Resources Conservation Award by the American Fisheries Society in 1987, the U.S. Department of Interior's Conservation Service Award in 1997, the Norval Prosser Lifetime Achievement Award from the ASA 2002, and she was inducted into the National Freshwater Hall of Fame in 2004. The one thing they did mention on here, she was also, if I remember right, the founder of Lady Bass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That happened during her tenure.
Which actually started in Monroe.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she lived in Monroe for a while.
Well, Gary Klein is also being inducted into the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
Shocker.
He's been involved in the bass fishing industry at the highest level for almost 40 years. During that time, Klein has fished in more than 400 Bassmaster tournaments, helped create the Major League Fishing Show, and won 2 BASS Angler of the Year awards, made 30 classic appearances, and recorded 8 victories in BASS tournaments alone. He is also on the list to go to the new MLF.
Yeah, one of the founders.
He has won the U.S. Open and a gold medal in the ESPN Great Outdoor Games. He has known no other job except as a professional bass angler. Can you imagine that?
No.
He's never done anything else. While the idea of young anglers leaving college and becoming a full-time professional is commonplace today, Klein was the first to make professional angling his first career when he started fishing at the age of 19. After 4 decades of competition, he is considered one of the top anglers in the world.
I've got a story about Gary Klein.
Do you?
Yeah, but I don't think I should.
Okay, don't tell it. Tell us, and then we'll tell you whether or not you can tell it.
Okay, I'll tell you the next break.
All right.
Kevin Van Dam. Van Dam is one of the most recognized names in bass fishing as the all-time money winner with BASS, more than $6 million. My new best friend. Yeah. His initials are the most feared in bass fishing, as KVD has won 4 of the 27 Bassmaster Classics in which he's competed in. He has a record of 25 BASS wins and has 7 Bassmaster Angler of the Year titles. He was the first ever winner of the ESPN's Outdoorsman of the Year ESPY Trophy. Okay, ESPY Trophy. During only 4 years with the FLW Tour, he finished in the top 10 nearly 30% of the time, pocketed more than $370,000 in winnings, and appeared in 4 Forrest Wood Cups. In addition to his fishing accomplishment, Van Dam is a philanthropist through his KVD Foundation, as well as contributions in the KVD Charity Classics with the Detroit Lions Michigan Hospital, March of Dimes, and Make-A-Wish Foundation.
So you got Kevin Van Dam, Gary Klein, Helen Sevier, Tommy Sanders is going in there, Dr. James Henschel, and Berkeley Bedell, Burke Bedell. And you know what? The only one of these that might not have had much application into what we realize as fishing today would have been Dr. James Henschel, because he was so long ago. He was in the infantile stages of bass,
right?
But he did decline. He did predict the decline of the trout and trout habitat in the country and the rise of the bass fishing explosion.
But nothing exists without the infantile stages.
Sure, yeah. But I mean, I guess my point is that he was so long ago that he preceded everybody else that's on this list.
So do all of these go in, or do we get to vote? Are they waiting for our selection?
They're already in.
Oh, they're in.
Yeah,
Okay.
they already walked across the stage except Dr. James.
No.
He didn't make it.
They carried the urn across the stage.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
We'd like to thank all of our listeners and viewers for tuning us in each and every week. If you miss an episode, go to HUTDshow.com and click on The Show. This segment presented by Nichols Department Stores, Gamakatsu Hooks, Spro Lures, Cypress Knee Outdoors, and Natchitoches Ford. Get ready for hunting season with the new F-150 4x4 from Natchitoches Ford and tell them the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show sent you. One more time, here are the guys who love the great outdoors: Gary McCoy, Steve Graff, and Mike Eccles.
And our honey-baked hams recipe of the week this week. Ham and turkey pot pies. I love it. A pot pie.
Oh, my God.
Chicken pot pie?
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, it's chicken and biscuits is what it is.
It's okay.
Yeah.
When the angels come to earth, that's what they bring. It's chicken and biscuits.
Yes.
The ham and turkey pot pies, you can see the recipe at honeybaked.com. Or just go to our website at HUTDshow.com, and you'll find a link on there to go to the honey baked ham recipe of the week. Any of the previous recipes that we've had.
Yep.
All on there.
You know where they had the best pot pie ever? This will shock you.
What?
Swanson's.
New York City.
Really?
I'm telling you,
Get
it
out
was
of
as
here.
big as my computer.
I wouldn't have told that.
And the best I've ever had.
Really?
It was incredible.
You know what?
Bigger's not always better.
Oh, trust me. When I looked around the restaurant and almost everybody had one, I was like,
somebody pat Mike on the head right now.
when I looked around and saw everybody had one, I thought, wonder what I should order here. Good God, everybody
You
had
know what?
one.
I'm in a dilemma right now. I'm in a dilemma. Because, I will not watch NFL football. This second year in a row. I have not watched the down, won't look up score,
I'm
anything.
sorry.
I will not watch them until they get
And
some
you're
kind
watching
of,
them, Graf?
And until they get some kind of a policy regarding this
about all the
kneeling.
other crap that goes on.
I don't want to have nothing to do with them.
So you support people that disrespect our country?
I didn't say I support them. I'm not paying them.
You're watching it?
I'm watching the Cowboys, yeah.
And I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm not watching the NFL.
The Cowboys don't do
Hold
that.
on. Now, I didn't want to get girls. Go to your corner.
Wait a second. Let me get my panties out of the wad.
The thing that's bothered me is that, I don't know, I didn't swear a boycott oath in my own head with Dick's when they did their thing with the guns.
Let's clarify that. Dick's Sporting Goods.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah.
Yes, make sure we make that clear.
Thank you.
Well, I boycotted them a long time ago.
Dick's Sporting Goods. But they got a sale right now on these game cameras that I saw online.
You might as well stop.
Yeah. And I'm like, do I buy this game camera and go? How do you feel when you kind of draw a line in the sand with somebody? Don't you kind of keep it there?
No, yes, absolutely.
Amen.
And I don't do it because of money. I don't sell out because of money.
Right. Okay.
You know, I had a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, and I just love him to death, Tom Cathy, and he was one night over supper, he was talking about Obama and then Hillary. One of the things that they were offering, if Hillary got elected, was do away with student loans. And he said, how many hundreds of thousands of parents out there are going to say before they go to the poll,
wow,
I don't have to, or
$40,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of student loans. Yeah.
He said, wouldn't you do it? And I said, no. I wouldn't sell my country out for $20,000 or $30,000.
Amen.
I mean, that's treason.
Right.
That's treason
Right.
is what it is.
Yeah.
When you sell your country out for money.
Kind of like watching NFL games.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
But see, the Cowboys don't do that. That's one. If I have an admiration for Jerry Jones, and there ain't much I admire about that man.
I know.
The Cowboys will stand, and they do not. He refuses to allow his players to kneel for the national anthem. But he's the only owner in the league that does that.
But he can do it. He can do it legally. He can not allow
it doesn't
us to
matter
do
if it's legal or not. They're
people-
employed by him.
So that makes me think all the other coaches could be doing that.
It's not,
so
not coaches, owners.
Owners.
Yeah.
Then they're as guilty as the players are to me.
I won't disagree with you.
Yeah.
That's why I do admire
good
Jerry
thing.
Jones.
Yeah.
I do admire Jerry Jones. Real quick, because Bob Seeley has one more event.
I know, and this is a big
It
event.
is a big event. It's only a 2-day event, October 20th and 21st, and $171,000
That's
up for
next
grabs.
weekend.
Yep, it's called the Fall Shootout. It kind of winds up everything for the Big Bass Splash Series. First place, again, a Triton boat, plus $5,000 cash. And so second place is $2,500, third $2,000. Same deal, same format, all big bass event, $71,400 in hourly payback. So
tell us where it is.
Sam Rayburn.
Okay.
So, did I already say
That's
that?
it. No,
No, you didn't say it.
Sam Rayburn. Okay. Make sure you go to Sam Rayburn.
October 20th and 21st
Yep.
at the Humphrey Pavilion
Yep.
in Jasper, Texas.
Yep.
Go to SealyOutdoors.com if you want to read more about that and get yourself signed up. It's going to be a big show.
Next week, we're going to be out at Bellevue.
Bellevue.
We're going to be
Eating.
also eating, yes.
Eating.
I love you, Carl. We're going to give away 3 more boxes of Rio ammunition out
You
there.
got 3 boxes of Rio ammunition to give away.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep.
Cool.
Are we gonna talk Carly into giving away some more of those cookbooks, you think?
We probably can. I hope she gives me some of their sausage they have. That's what I'm hoping.
This weekend is the start of youth hunting week in Area 2 here in Northwest Louisiana.
Yeah,
And
a
that
full
means-
week is new, isn't it? That's
No.
new.
We've been doing that 4 or 5 years now.
Have it a whole week?
Yeah. Now I will say
couple
this.
days.
I will say this that
I'm
it goes for a week, and then I want to say, next week will be isn't next week muzzleloader season? And the
Primitive
kids can,
weapon, yeah. You're
primitive
right.
weapon.
You're right.
And see, the kids can shoot anything during primitive weapon. So really, with this being the start of youth weekend, deer season's on for the kids because they
No
can
doubt.
shoot now, and then next week they can continue to shoot with
Right.
their during primitive weapon, and that
Yep.
goes for a week.
Yep. You
And
are
so
correct.
then the next week is opening weekend.
The
You are
27th is opening
day.
day of regular rifle season.
Right, exactly.
The 20th is opening day of primitive weapons.
Right.
And the 13th is opening week for
So essentially,
Yeah.
deer season opens for kids this Saturday.
right.
I mean, they can go because during primitive weapon season they can shoot any caliber, any weapon whatsoever. And you know what? This is something we were talking about the other day. This would be a really good time if you don't have a 35 Wheeling or a 45-70 or something like this. This would be a really good time to where if your kids are all grown and maybe you don't have grandkids or something along those lines, there's got to be a young dad that's out there that has not gotten into the sport yet.
Yeah.
And this would be a great opportunity to spend time with him and his daughter, his son, or maybe they don't want to go. Maybe the child would just love to go.
Right.
And I mean, that's the only way our sport is going to survive. You see what it's doing for bass fishing, and if we don't do that for hunting, it'll go away just as quickly. There's somebody standing there in Washington, D.C., whose job right now is to take your gun out of your hands. It's their job.
Yeah.
That's why they are on the payroll on a daily basis. And if you don't realize that you have to take it as seriously as they do,
Yeah.
that gun will be gone. Maybe not in your life, but maybe tomorrow.
Yep.
The gun that's in your safe right now that you will to your grandkids will be taken away from
You
them.
betcha.
Yeah. Yep.
You have to understand that's their job.
Real quick, here's your Bucks and Bull Outfitters best times to hunt. This weekend is rated as very good all 3 days. A little glitch in my computer. Our first major cold front will make its way down to this week by this weekend with highs in the lower 70s and lows in the mid 50s. No rain's expected till Sunday with only a 30% chance. We will be under a half moon as well this weekend. Best times mid to late afternoon. Friday, 1:36 to 3:36 p.m., sunrise 7:12, sunset 6:44. Saturday, 2:31 to 4:31 p.m., sunrise 7:12, sunset 6:43. And on Sunday, 3:26 to 5:26 p.m., sunrise 7:13, sunset at 6:44. This has been your Bucks and Bulls Outfitters best times to hunt.
Somebody just texted Mike a picture of their son's first deer on
This is Louisiana youth season.
Yeah.
Louisiana youth hunt. My son's first deer, and there's this huge 10-point with a 270 rifle laying beside it, and the kid is in a car seat.
Yeah, he's maybe 3 months old.
He's 9 months old. You know? Oh, my son killed that.
Yeah. That deer
My little
slipped
boy
up.
killed that hammer.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Okay, next week while we're at Bellevue, I'm assuming that we're going to have a
Whoa, stop. What are you cooking?
Yes, what, Crystal? What's in the stove over there?
To offer you guys
What is it? Here, turn this microphone around.
Oh my gosh.
Because you and Carla Nesbitt
You're on
have gotten to be
camera
good.
now. You're on TV.
You and Carla Nesbitt got to be good
I
friends
love me some Carla Nesbitt. She
Yeah.
knows what to do with the processed meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's got like a secret. I stole the cookbook already, kind of stealing some ideas from that. We're doing a Texas skillet, a Tex-Mex skillet. So ground beef, some Louisiana rice, some cheese. Really simple, really tasty. It's like the easiest casserole to make.
Oh, that's right. Louisiana Rice is sponsoring you to do all this
Yeah.
right now, aren't
So-
they? They're paying you to cook.
Wow.
Tell you what, that's the best kind of cooking.
What a job!
But we have some for you in the kitchen. So if you guys
See, I
you
can
guys are
smell
hungry-
it, and I actually, my guess was taco soup.
Okay, close.
You're
Was anybody else
close.
close?
Yeah, I figured taco soup sounded good.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It sounded good. We were both wrong, though.
It's ready for you whenever you guys
Hey, we're
are.
headed
Thank
that way.
you.
Thank you, Crystal. We love you. Okay, next week we will be there with Carla and Chris Nesbitt at Bellevue Meat Processing, and of course we're going to be right before primitive weapon season starts. So hopefully, we're gonna see how many kids are out this weekend getting those youth T-shirts.
Yeah, hopefully we get lucky. Maybe some kids will bring some deer in and get them on the air.
Not while we're there; they're in school. No, Caddo Parish is out of school next week.
All right.
Caddo Parish, Bossier Parish kids are out this week.
yeah.
Caddo Parish is out next week.
Back when I was in school, you
yeah.
skipped school for deer season.
Yeah, you walked uphill both ways.
Yeah, in the snow.
Barefoot in the snow. I understand.
Uphill both ways.
Yeah.
How much time we got, Jay?
30 seconds.
Oh, okay. I guess I need to do the final word.
30 seconds until your final word. So if you guys want to
Okay,
talk for 25
no.
more seconds,
Here's our little known, mostly useless bits of information. Harriet's husband, Herb, was an avid fisherman, and he died suddenly one day. When she went to take care of the funeral arrangements, the local undertaker asked her what she wanted in the obituary. She said, "What does it cost?" He said, $1 a word. She said, "Okay, I want it to read, Herb is dead." The undertaker replied, "I'm sorry, but it's a 6-word minimum." She said, "Okay, Herb is dead, boat for sale."
All right. While our time in the outdoors is treasured, it's important to teach and be a good example to the next generation coming up. Teach the right and wrong way is what we are supposed to do. Catching over the limit, killing deer out of season, or maybe shooting over the limit of ducks makes for a great story among family and friends sitting around the campfire, but it also plants the seed among young hunters and anglers that it's okay to ignore the rules of the outdoors. On that thought, we leave you with this. Being a good example has twice the value of giving good advice. For Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, Jay Watley, and yours truly, Steve Graff, tune in next week right here on 1130 The Tiger for more Hooking Up and Tracking Down.